Welcome back to the cryptoworld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Bitcoin is on the edge of a major breakout above this final significant area of resistance. And if that happens, we could quickly see a move up towards all-time highs. And this is happening while BlackRock is buying hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin each and every weekday. But in the short term, there's new signals showing up that we need to pay attention to. So I'll be talking about all of that in just a moment, alongside Ethereum, which is now running into the final significant area of resistance, while Solana is further confirming the breakout from this bullish inverse head and shoulders pattern. So I'll be talking about all of that and so much more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, we need to talk about the Bitcoin ETF news today, because over the last one day, BlackRock bought a massive amount of Bitcoin. In fact, as of right now, BlackRock is currently holding over 95,000 Bitcoin worth over 4.7 billion US dollars. And we can confirm this on BlackRock's own website. As you can see, they're holding 95,276 Bitcoin worth around 4.7 billion US dollars in BlackRock's spot Bitcoin ETF, their iShares Bitcoin Trust. And so from these newly updated numbers, we can figure out that just yesterday, just on Monday alone, BlackRock bought another approximately 7,500 Bitcoin worth around 370 million US dollars just in the last one day. And just to put things into perspective, only 900 Bitcoin is actually being mined per day right now. And after the Bitcoin halving in just 2 months from now, only 450 Bitcoin will be mined per day and added to the circulating supply. And so obviously with a player like BlackRock buying over 7,000 Bitcoin in a single weekday, that is big news for Bitcoin. That is massively pushing the price of Bitcoin to the upside. And so this is why I've been saying recently on the channel that on weekdays in particular, we could end up seeing some crazy price action due to these spot Bitcoin ETFs, because of course the spot Bitcoin ETFs only trade on weekdays, not weekends. And as for the outflows coming out of Grayscale, we did end up seeing approximately $100 million worth of Bitcoin, around $140 million worth of Bitcoin sold by Grayscale just yesterday. But obviously this now pales in comparison to the amount that BlackRock is currently buying. BlackRock alone is buying way more than what Grayscale is actually selling on the market. And remember, BlackRock is just one of the 11 spot Bitcoin ETFs. Of course, they are the fastest growing spot Bitcoin ETF, but they're just one of 11. And so if we're looking at the total net flow from all of the spot Bitcoin ETFs, factoring in inflows and outflows just yesterday, this is just looking at Monday from BitMEX research, we can see that just yesterday, around $500 million entered into the spot Bitcoin ETFs. And remember, this is the net inflow. So this is also factoring in the outflows from the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. So at the end of the day, just yesterday alone, we're left with around 500 million new US dollars, new money coming into Bitcoin. And now people that might be new to all of this might think that $500 million coming into Bitcoin means Bitcoin's market cap raises by 500 million, but that is definitely not true, because for example, just $500 million could easily raise Bitcoin's market cap by multiple billions, if not tens of billions of dollars in Bitcoin's market cap, because the market cap is determined by supply and the market's price, not the other way around. So of course, you're buying Bitcoin for a particular price, and then based on the market price per Bitcoin times by the supply, that gets you the market cap, not the other way around. And so for example, let's just say in between $50,000 per Bitcoin and $60,000 per Bitcoin, let's just say in that $10,000 price range, there's $1 billion worth of sell orders, basically $1 billion worth of Bitcoin wanting to be sold during those prices. Regardless of what the market cap is, it just takes $1 billion in that example to pump the price of Bitcoin from 50,000 to 60,000. And so even seeing just a few $100 million flow into Bitcoin each day, that could significantly pump the price of Bitcoin to the upside. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now with these spot Bitcoin ETFs. And so regardless of what the price charts are looking like, of course, fundamentally speaking, looking at these spot Bitcoin ETFs buying hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin each weekday, and also with the Bitcoin halving coming up in just a couple of months, fundamentally speaking, we are looking extremely bullish for the coming months and years. And Bitcoin could look even more bullish if we see a confirmed breakout here in the price of Bitcoin above the golden pocket here on the weekly time frame, which is sitting in between 48,000 to around 50,000 approximately. And so what we need to see to confirm this breakout is at least a weekly candle close above 50,000, and the next weekly candle close is in roughly around 5 days from now. And as I've mentioned recently on the channel, the golden pocket is the most significant area of resistance here on the weekly Bitcoin chart, which means if we confirm a breakout with a weekly candle close above 50,000, then honestly, not long after that, we could quickly see a move up towards the all-time high in the coming weeks or months after we first see a confirmed breakout above 50,000. And now, obviously, considering the fact that we have not yet seen a weekly candle close above 50,000, of course, there's still a possibility we could end up seeing some sort of rejection or consolidation around this resistance, basically the price somewhat struggling around this resistance. That's still a possibility. And so just keep that in mind moving forward. But once again, if we first see a confirmed breakout above 50,000, then we could see the price move very quickly up towards the all-time high. And if we're taking a look at the 3-day Bitcoin chart, as I've been talking about since the price was at around 42 to 43,000, obviously we're now seeing that volatile move play out to the upside, which is exactly what I've been talking about here on the channel. You can even go back and look at my videos over the last 1 to 2 weeks or so. Once again, I was talking about a very volatile move coming very soon back around here. And because the price was sitting above the center line in the Bollinger Bands, I was saying back then that it's more likely that move will be bullish. And back then, around a week ago, when the price was trading at around 42 to 43,000, people were telling me in the comments that there's no way Bitcoin could possibly be trading at 50,000 in a week from now. But once again, as I said back down there, this signal on this chart was telling us that we're most likely going to see a move quickly up towards 50 to 55,000 within 1 to 2 weeks. And so far, that's exactly playing out as expected. And we could end up seeing this volatile move continue for a little longer, because if we're measuring out this move from where we roughly started to where we are right now, that's around a 17% move to the upside. And if we're taking a look at some of these previous volatile moves in the price of Bitcoin, in this first example, that was around a 30% move. In this other bullish example, that was also around a 20 to 30% move. And that's not even factoring in the other bullish price action that we saw later on. This is just talking about the volatile section of that move. And so once again, considering the current size of this move at around 17%, we could end up continuing up towards around 20 to 30%, which would put the price in between around 51 to 55,000, as I've been talking about since all the way back down here at 42 to 43,000. And if we're taking a look at the daily Bitcoin chart, obviously, once again, as I've been saying this entire time, we're clearly looking more bullish than bearish, especially in terms of the momentum here in the daily Bitcoin MACD. And now, obviously, just more recently, over the last couple of days, we've seen the daily Bitcoin RSI enter into overbought territories. And so essentially, this is telling us that at least in the somewhat shorter term here, things are getting a little bit too overheated. We've basically gone a little bit too far to the upside too quickly. But it's important to understand that that signal by itself does not guarantee that we're going to see a massive crash or anything like that. Because, for example, if you're simply looking at some previous times where we saw the RSI enter into overbought territories, that does not mean the end of the bullish move. It just means in the immediate short term, we're getting a little bit too overheated, and we could see some sort of a break or slowdown from all of the crazy bullish price action. But once again, as I've been saying this entire time, in terms of the momentum, where the market is really heading right now, the momentum is still clearly looking bullish. And if we're taking a look at the DXY also on the daily time frame, right now this is basically trading sideways as it has been over the last couple of days. And so the DXY is not really giving us much of a signal to work with. But as always, if this continues to change, I'll let you know about it here in these videos. So make sure you stay subscribed to this channel with notifications turned on so that you don't miss out on any of these important update videos. But anyway, while the larger timeframes are still clearly looking bullish, especially in terms of the trend and momentum on the larger timeframes, if we're looking at the 4-hour Bitcoin chart, we can see a new signal showing up. And this signal is indeed a short-term bearish divergence, with the price forming higher highs in the candle closes and the 4-hour Bitcoin RSI forming lower highs. And so technically speaking, this is a sign of weakness in this bullish trend right here, this bullish move. Basically, this is telling us that we could end up seeing some sort of break from that bullish move, either in the form of a sideways consolidation or a slight pullback, as the most common outcomes from a bearish divergence. But once again, it's important to take this with a grain of salt, because we did see a small bearish divergence right here with higher highs in the price and lower highs in the RSI. And I said back then on the Saturday that we're most likely going to see a sideways consolidation or a slight pullback over the next one day, which is exactly what we saw. But then as soon as Monday came around, as I also talked about on the weekend, as soon as Monday came around, we saw the next major move with those spot Bitcoin ETFs begin trading again. And so just keep in mind, if we see another major inflow day into the spot Bitcoin ETFs when the US stock market opens back up again, of course, we could potentially see another major move to the upside if there's a lot more buying pressure from those spot Bitcoin ETFs. And so it really depends on how much buying pressure is coming in from those spot Bitcoin ETFs. But let's just say if there were no spot Bitcoin ETFs and we were looking at the charts alone, once again, this is a signal basically telling us that we should see a bit of a cool off from all of this bullish price action to help reset the RSI back down towards more neutral levels. And just before taking a look at some other important charts, first of all, if you want to take these trades in the price of Bitcoin or any other crypto, personally, I take those trades over on Bybit. So I'll make sure to leave a link to Bybit in the description down below and in the pinned comments. And if you use that link down below this video to make a Bybit account and deposit on that account, you can get up to a $30,000 deposits bonus, but only if you use that link down below this video. But for whatever reason, if you cannot access Bybit or if you cannot KYC on Bybit, there is also Bitflex, which is another crypto exchange similar to Bybit, but you don't need KYC for Bitflex. And also right now, Bitflex is running an exclusive Apple Watch Series 9 giveaway. If you use the link down below this video, that will take you to this page right here. And once you're on this page, if you want to enter that giveaway, all you need to do is sign up to Bitflex using that link down below this video and then deposit $100 worth of crypto or more and to make just one trade on the derivatives market over at Bitflex to enter this giveaway. And so if you're trading crypto anyway, or if you're preparing to take the next trade, you might as well check out those links down below this video to get set up on Bybit or Bitflex if you want to get those extra bonuses or enter this giveaway. Once again, use those links down below this video. And if we're taking a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, we can currently see a small amount of liquidity to the upside, sitting at around 50.5K to 50.7K. And as for liquidity to the downside, we do have a decent area of liquidity sitting in between around 47.7K to 47.5K. And below that area, we also have a little bit more liquidity at around 46.6K to 46.7K approximately. And in case you're new to all of this, usually the price of Bitcoin moves towards these areas of liquidity. And so essentially, if we break below some short-term support or play out that short-term bearish divergence, basically, if we do not see a lot of inflows from those spot Bitcoin ETFs, we could end up seeing the price return to around 48,000 potentially. But once again, if we're seeing more massive inflows from those spot Bitcoin ETFs buying up Bitcoin, then of course that is going to push the price of Bitcoin further to the upside. So I'll keep you up to date on what those ETFs are doing here in these videos and in real time over on my Twitter, link down below in the description and in the pinned comment. But anyway, getting into the Ethereum part of this video, this is on the weekly ETH to US dollar chart. And right now the price of ETH is on the edge of potentially a major breakout. Because if we're looking at the Fibonacci retracement tool from the all-time high down to the bear market bottom on the logarithmic settings, we have the golden pocket sitting in between around 2530 going up towards around 2680 approximately. And so basically we need to see a weekly candle close above around 2.7K, and obviously as of recording this video, the price of ETH is sitting very close to 2.7K, but there's still around 5 days to go until the next weekly candle close. And now if we do ultimately confirm a breakout above around 2.7K, then in that case, we could potentially see a move up towards this 78.6% Fibonacci level, which could act as a bit of short-term resistance, especially because it's sitting around a significant previous high, and that's sitting at around 3380, so close to 3.4K if we're looking at the Fibonacci level, or if we're looking at this previous high, that's sitting closer towards around 3.5K. So basically, in between 3.4 to 3.5K is where we're most likely going to see the price head up to next if we first confirm a breakout above around 2.7K. And then, of course, if we then see a confirmed breakout above around 3,500, above this previous high back here, the next major target would simply be the all-time high sitting at around 4.9K. And obviously, in terms of the larger trend and momentum here on the weekly time frame, we're clearly looking bullish. Even if we see a short-term pullback of some sort, of course, we're still looking bullish on the larger time frames here, forming significant higher lows and higher highs. And if we're taking a look at the daily time frame, over the last 1 day, we have finally invalidated this previous bearish divergence by seeing a successful confirmed breakout here in the RSI above this descending line of resistance. And not only have we confirmed a new higher high in the RSI above this line of resistance and above this previous high, we've also seen a new higher high in the price in the daily candle closes. And so obviously, now that we have higher highs in the price in the daily candle closes and higher highs in the RSI, there's no bearish divergence at all. But obviously, as I've already been saying here on the channel over the last 1 to 2 weeks, weeks or so since all the way back down here. Of course, if you're looking at the momentum here in the daily Ethereum MACD, this is still looking very, very bullish. And so even if we see any sort of short-term pullback or sideways consolidation on smaller timeframes, of course, the momentum where the overall market is heading, that is looking bullish here on the larger timeframes. And if we're taking a look at the 6-hour ETH to US dollar chart over the last one day, we've also now invalidated this short-term bearish divergence that I talked about just over the last 1 to 2 days. And obviously, this did indeed play out over around 1 day before quickly invalidating the bearish divergence by seeing a new higher high in the price and in the RSI. And so like I said, over the last couple of days, I did actually take a small amount of profits off the table from my leveraged long position that I entered all the way back down here. I closed part of that trade around these prices. But as I also said here on the channel and over on my Twitter, I kept the rest of the trade open in case the price just continues further to the upside, which is exactly what has happened. And so right now, I still have that Ethereum long position open that I entered all the way back down here and I shared here on the channel when I entered that position. And right now, I'm simply just moving my stop loss further into profits once this trade moves further into profits. So eventually, when we see some sort of significant pullback, that will just trigger my stop loss and exit me out of the trade in massive profits. And of course, over the last 1 day, we have now officially hit this bullish price target for this breakout that I've been talking about since all the way back down here. And that set up a bullish price target at around 25.80, which obviously has now been hit. And as for short-term support and resistance, right now, as of recording this video, the price of ETH is running into a bit of short-term resistance based on this previous high, which is sitting in between around 26.80 going up towards around 27.20. But if we end up seeing some sort of rejection or pullback from that resistance, then in that case, looking at support levels, we have previous resistance, which should now act as new support. First of all, sitting at around 25.90, and below that, we have more support sitting at around 24.90. And if we're taking a quick look at the price of Solana on the 8-hour time frame, obviously over the last 1 day, we got very close to invalidating the breakout for this inverse head and shoulders pattern, but we did not fully invalidate that breakout because we never actually saw an 8-hour candle close back below $105. And so once again, as I talked about in my last video, if we close that candle back above $105, then this could just simply be a retest, which can further confirm the breakout to the upside. And so once again, as I shared on this channel around 2 to 3 days ago, I started to scale into a small long position around this breakout with more buy orders sitting closer towards this retest. And so as the price played out this short-term dip, retesting this golden pocket and bouncing from this golden pocket, of course, that triggered more of my buy orders, increasing my long position. And so as I updated just yesterday over on my Twitter, I'm still in that Solana long position. And right now, as of recording this video, I'm still trading this move to the upside. And right now, my stop loss for this long position is already sitting in slight profits, which means in the worst case scenario, if we crash right now to the downside, that would trigger my stop loss and exit me out of the trade automatically in profits. But of course, between now and this price target, there are some other points of resistance where the price could potentially struggle at. And right now, the price is running into this resistance, sitting at around $114 to $116 based on this Fibonacci level and this previous high. But if we see a further breakout above this previous high right here, then we're likely going to head up towards this previous high, which if you're looking at the 8-hour candle closes is sitting at around $123, or the actual candle wick high is sitting closer towards $126. And so once again, those levels could act as a bit of short-term resistance where we could see the price struggle at. So just keep that in mind moving forward as well. And if you want to know how you can take these trades in the price of Solana or any other crypto, whether we're going to the upside or to the downside or simply chopping around sideways, you can profit from all of that price action by watching these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how to make money with long positions and short positions if the price is bullish or bearish, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.